Hi, I'm Jill with the West Regional Branch of the Mobile Public Library, and I am back again with a TV recommendation. And this time it is a Chinese TV show with subtitles, so I know that was going to put a lot of people off right from the beginning. But I really enjoyed this show. It was Douluo Continent. I'm not sure exactly how the vowels in that are pronounced because they say it so fast in the show, I can't quite catch it. But it's, I'll put a little picture over here, but it's Douluo Continent. And I watched it on Viki, which even if you don't have a subscription to Viki, you can watch most of their programming. You just got to watch commercials. If you have a subscription, you don't have to watch commercials. But anyway, it's your basic kind of shonen story. If you're familiar with anime and manga, if you watch like Naruto, something like that, you're familiar with the kind of plot line where you have these kids who are learning like battle magic type stuff, and they have these fights to become stronger. And then of course there's some sort of plot going on in the background to do with politics or family secrets or whatever. And it's a fairly standard in that way. The thing that I really liked about Douluo Continent is the fact that a lot of the cliche tropes that they use to move the plot along in these shows, they just dodged every single one of them. Like every time you're thinking, oh no, I know what they're going to do here. I was pleasantly surprised. Like, when the kid, I say kid, now they cast like 20 somethings as all these characters, but they're clearly supposed to be like teenagers. Anyway, when the kid has a problem, instead of like, oh, I'm going to do something totally moronic and try to solve it myself, even though I'm in way over my head, he actually goes to his teacher and tells him about it. And then the teacher takes him seriously. And then the two of them together discuss, okay, here's what we're going to do. Instead of doing the typical, teenager goes off on their own without telling anybody, or if they do tell somebody, they're not believed, and they end up handling it all by themselves. So I appreciated that. And another thing, another example of that was one of the characters found out some deep dark secret that impinged on one of his friends' lives, like it impacted the friend. And instead of like, oh, I'm going to hide this until it comes out at the very worst moment, which is inevitably what happens in most of these shows. No, he immediately pulls the friend aside. He says, I just found this out. I don't know if it's true or not. If you don't want to be friends with me anymore, I understand. And of course the friend says, no, we don't know if it's true or not, and I don't believe it, and we're going to solve this mystery together. Which is like, it's wonderful to see one of these shows where, you have the fun fighting and the magic and the special effects and a little comedy, a little romance and all that kind of good stuff. But they don't resort to stupid plot cliches to move things along. They actually have a real plot and real things happen. And I also say it's very well paced. You never get one of those like, will this arc ever end? They always get through everything in a pretty good clip. So if you like that kind of show, that kind of like Shaman King, Naruto, I can't think of all the different ones that they've had over the years. All those kind of shonen type shows. Give Douluo Content in it a try. I think you'll enjoy it. It is live action. It's not animated. And the reason why I watched it originally is actually because one of the actors is one of my favorite actors. And like I said, it's on Viki, and you can watch it for free with commercials, or you can get a subscription to Viki and watch it without commercials. Okay, let's see. For a food item, recently I got my grandmother's recipe for shrimp etouffee, which I had not eaten in years because she's stopped cooking probably 20 years ago. But I always loved that. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to make it myself. And the first time I made it, it was a disaster because I apparently did not know how to make a roux. So, it tasted okay, but it was lumpy. So I went and watched a ton of YouTube videos with like, oh, how do you make a roux and tips and tricks, and then polled the ladies in my family about how do they make a roux, and got all their little tips about using a wire whisk and turning the heat up and all that kind of stuff. So I did it a second time and it actually turned out great. So I'm very proud of myself for replicating my grandmother's recipe, because usually she leaves something out. Like, you get the recipe card and you make the recipe, and then you're like, wait, this doesn't taste the same, because inevitably she didn't put something on the recipe card. And now 20 years later, she can't remember what it was. But that one did turn out great, so I've been eating a lot of shrimp etouffee. Anyway, leave me a comment down below and let me know what you have been watching and eating, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.